all three phases rocking together. That's the goal. Get that part of our complementary football exactly like we want to do it. I said yesterday I'd give you the roster moves or any injury updates. I'll work you through some of that right now. Last week we worked Noah Brown back into practice, and unfortunately his groin didn't respond. And given that, we'll place him on IR. And the aim is to get Noah fully right. He's such a tough competitor, but it's the right call right now to get him into that spot, and let's get him all the way back and ready. We also opened the 21-day window for Jonathan Jones, so it'll be great to have him back at practice today. And the team signed defensive end Drake Jackson. He's still working back from a knee injury, but we are glad to have him here. So all that said, glad to get rolling with you guys.
With Noah, I mean, what happened with the groin? Was there a setback, or did something happen while he was practicing that re-injured it? And I guess why not put him on IR before this point? Yeah, well, I would say it wasn't a setback. It just hasn't responded, quite the way that it needs to. So I wouldn't call it a setback. Hindsight's 20/20. And I think the main thing is, man, we're going to get him right. And that's the ultimate goal to get there. So we know that means 4 more weeks, and the guy's working incredibly hard at it. And so we want to make sure hit all the marks that we can with him. Then what's the plan for Terry this week?
He'll practice this week, and I'll have a better sense where we're going, because today is going to be more at a jog-through pace where we're not, fully, speed up and going, but that'll be more as we get into tomorrow. But, I'll have a better assessment after we go through some full speed, routes and movements to see where he's at. But I'm excited where he's trending.
With Noah, is this something that would require surgery, or is this just more time, rest, recovery?
More time, and just we're going to really push it, make sure the recovery's right, the strength's right, and just kind of go through all of it to make sure he's really ready.
Have you had a chance to talk to him as he's dealt with all this? I mean, it's been
I will today.
Kidney,
I didn't,
knee, everything.
This morning. I have obviously previously, but not specifically today, but I will this afternoon. He's one of these competitors. He takes it hard. He cares so much. He loves it. And so, moments like now are hard because of who the competitor is. But the good news is that, let's put the plan in place that we can absolutely, nail it to get him back. And that's what we'll aim to do.
Dan, is there any concern with Armstrong and the hamstring going forward?
I think there's always concern in and out, and he kind of showed, man, I'm going to battle through it to go. We won't really hit our speed stuff till tomorrow, David, so I think I'll have a better shot today. He's able to do the walks and that kind of stuff today, so I'm encouraged by that. But until you load it, go. The good news is, like I said, he's in, he's out, but meaning coming back and forth into the game. But I'll have a better feel for him tomorrow as we get a little bit more movement.
As you dig in or dug into kind of the issues with starts, do you go all the way into what time are we getting to the stadium? What do they do in pregame? What are our pregame drills looking like? Are you going that deep into it?
I do, and I also want to dig in, to the leaders and say, what are some things that we need to do to hit it? And it's not a score as much as an attitude, a mindset to go. So I want to make sure I'm clear on that, because if you only base it just on that, I think you could miss it. And so it's not that. And I liked the intentness getting ready. And like I said, the offense had a long drive. We turned the ball over at the end of it, but it is important. And so it's more collaboration to say, is there anything else we need to do and hit differently? I've had those conversations, and I'll continue to tweak it until we get it exactly right.
Coach, how have you seen opposing defenses change their game plans when facing you guys with Terry and Noah's absence?
It depends, I think, where on the field some. I think it's also their matchup too, in terms of they want to play more man-to-man or doing things differently. The run game, not counting last game into that space, but I think that's been one of the areas we've started to really, hit our marks. And that alone changes some things, because having the ability to go down, stop the run, some of the ones, I think that could be as big a factor as anything. But for sure, that's part of it. But you just have to navigate how you go and who you're there. Like, there's a way to win every game. You just have to go dig in and find it, and it might not be the same every week. And we're equipped to do that.
Over here. Your defense obviously has had some issues, and you're facing one of the best offenses in the league. What has been their psyche since Monday night, and how much does pride play a factor in you guys getting better?
Yeah, I don't also want to portray the sky as falling either. You know, there's some things that I like about how we're doing some things on third down. We're not getting the ball enough, Chick, honestly. And that's one part of playing good defense. We're not hitting our tackling, you know, to the space that I think is the standard that we've set. But we've also had some moments where we know what good can look like and what it does. So we want to make sure we're capturing that. Meetings-wise, it's tense, it's tight, like it should be when you're, you know, trying to dig in and find the right answers. And that's what's cool about this group, that it's not somebody pointing or, you know, doing that. It's, hey, man, let's go through our thing together and how we'd go about it. So you're right, it's a great challenge with Dallas and, you know, weapons they have. And I think Dak's honestly hitting, you know, his marks at a high level right now. That's what the tape tells me so far. And we're looking forward to the challenge.
Just to take a step back to Terry, what was the biggest kind of step forward that he took last week, and what do you need to see from him specifically this week if he's going to play? We call him like a game simulation where you run different routes, you work different movements. Sometimes in a rehab you could see, you know, it's predicted where you're going to go, and so off-schedule throws, how to do different things. So that's a good step when you're moving forward. So that's part of the process, like in your return to play, to like simulate more closely related, you know, plays. So the fact that we're moving in that direction, that's a good sign. And then broadly, when making decisions about whether or not somebody goes on IR, like obviously this would be, I think, his fourth week. How do you guys go through that decision-making process? Through the medical team, and lean into what, you know, the guidelines that they want to set and how to go. How long is a predicted rehab, you know, of this type of nature, you know, going to take? It's not exact, that I can tell you. Not everybody, you know, heals in the same way and the same speeds with this, you know, different types of injuries. So if it was exact, it'd be super easy to do. And so then there's all sorts of other factors. Did it respond? Did it not? And where are we at? So you just try to play it as close as you can, knowing that it's not always going to be on this timeline or that. So I think what I've learned is just, man, have patience and listen, you know, to the player. They know it best. They really do. They're going to push it hard to see where they can go to, but they know it best. And we just follow those guidelines. We got a strict, you know, procedure that we go through. So we just try to stay connected to that and follow and listen.
From Sam Cosmi, with him kind of being on the cusp here. I know you have until next week to activate him.
Yeah, I liked what I saw from him last week. First padded work, he got a lot of reps, and we expect to do that kind of same, you know, process with him this week. But it was a hell of a start for him, you know, to get back and get rolling. He's really put the work in. So, you know, anticipating seeing that continue and trajectory going up.
Dan, at the opening, you said you're happy it's a short week. Can you explain that mentality and that attitude a little bit, that mindset?
Well, I think when it doesn't go your way, and this game was a hard one for us in a lot of ways, we beat ourselves. And those are as hard a loss, you know, to deal with. When it goes down to the end, you hit your marks, they do, and it doesn't go your way. Those are ones that's the life of a competitor. When you beat yourselves, that one hurts more because you didn't finish it or didn't play it in a style or attitude or things that you wanted to do. So those are important, and we want to make sure the lessons that are meant for us are learned and also get it corrected. That's been uncharacteristic of us in that way, and we certainly plan on getting that fixed.
With Bill Krosky-Merritt fumbles in back-to-back weeks, obviously there's teachable moments, learning moments in those situations, but what's the point of when maybe becomes an issue and not necessarily any more of a teaching, learning moment?
Yeah, it's a great question. We've got to give them the space to grow for sure and prove that those lessons are learned. Sometimes you don't really get to show that you've learned them until you're back into that spot. And so we want to make sure that, man, he's still growing, you know, and this is a rookie player they're going to have some ups and some downs just like any other guys. And I'm certain he's made of the right things to come battle through it. I can remember, you know, a few weeks back we were talking about Connerly and early start on some guys, and he said, man, we're going to fight through it and get there. And so this is no different to me. This is learning, growing, and he'll bank on these experiences. And they're hard to go through, but it is necessary. It sucks when you go through them, but when you come out the other side, there's a lot of value that comes with that.
Coach, understanding that inside this building that everything is 1 week at a time, when you look at outside of this building, how big this game is every year to these fans of the Burgundy and Gold, what's your message to the team to make sure that they don't allow that emotion to come into play when it's Washington versus Dallas?
Yeah, it's really awesome to be in the NFC East. It really is, and there's times we'll just kind of show some of the highlights from the years past of people that have been in this space and in these games. So we like that. We like what it stands for. But at the end, it's about us and getting ourselves ready and getting the team ready, and that's really what my message was for them today. We're going to prepare really hard, for what we need to, but our play style and attitude is what's at hand, and it's just cool to be part of a division that has some long-term rivalries that are cool.
Hey, good afternoon, Coach.
Good afternoon.
A kicker like Brandon Aubrey, obviously with his range, but also his ability on special teams to kind of put kickoffs in hazardous places. How big of an impact can he have specifically on a game like this? Yeah,
Brandon's been on it, and playing there, honestly, it's even adds to some of that a little bit for the distance of the kicks. Not dealing with some of the weather, so playing there inside. Can make some of the field goal attempts and that type of thing even longer. But they got a good special teams crew. It's a good matchup. Like our guys, their guys, like it's a big part of this game. Nick Sorensen, who's the special teams coordinator there, known for a long time, and both units really have some heavy hitters on their special teams. And Brandon, for them, is right in the middle of it between the kicks. And both teams like to cover, like to hit, and so it'll be a fun matchup for sure.
And I don't know how much you can really dive into it, but if at all, their defense and their offensive schemes have kind of changed since 2024. They've kind of evolved in some significant ways. Because of that, how much can you really lean on last year's tape and experience against these units?
You know what, Davis? You can look at, as a player, some of the matchups, a style and attitude of what a player may do, what they look like at the line, how would they pass protect. As far as the scheme goes, that's for this season. That's that. So it is worth it just from the personnel side of things and seeing things and how they would play and what their strengths would look like. They've also added some new faces like we have into some different spots, at receiver, at running back, at defensive end, at other locations. So you do look at it, but it's the tape from 2025 that you really dive into. And now that we're 6 games in, there's more tape, obviously, so you don't have to go back as much.
You played in Dallas. You've coached in Dallas a bunch. With this game being a 4:30 game, the sun setting in that end zone directly into the stadium, how much effect does that take on a game, and how do you guys kind of work to combat that?
Yeah, it's a great question, and this time of year it could come into effect, that you want to make good decisions when you can regarding where it would look like, where a glare would be. So it's definitely something that as a coach I think about, and obviously we'll talk to the team about. But yeah, you're on it.
Dan, to go back to Noah, I get that the decision to IR, hindsight 2020 further now, but his injury history was something that was known. Obviously last year was a bit of a fluke, but prior to that he'd had injuries. What was for you, I know the front office obviously has a big say in personnel, but what for you was the plan with, hey, if Noah does get hurt, we're expecting X, Y, Z to happen? Did you feel comfortable with what you guys had knowing his injury history?
Like prior to re-signing him?
Yeah. At the point of re-signing him or making other moves in free agency and the draft?
Well, we knew we wanted him back for sure. Like that was like evident coming into it. I think that goes with it, Ben, that, like when there's an injury history on somebody that you want to know what that looks like and who would be there. Coming into camp, we thought we had a big competitive group at that spot. I love what he brings to us outside. But yeah, I don't know if it's any different than any other spot, where there's, a guy gets banged up and who would be next in line to do those things. So not like a lot different than a lot of other spots, other than they were bummed that he's out and looking forward to getting him back. All right, thanks, everybody.